Hey, it's Bauke from liberty2travel.com, and in today's video, day 2 of the 90-day challenge I am doing, I'm going to talk about a very obvious question with a not so obvious answer. What is a digital nomad? Now, the word digital nomad is obviously made up of two words, digital and nomad. So first I'm going to talk about both of those separately, and then a little bit more about the term in general. So first, the word digital. Now, the word digital suggests that these are people who use the internet, who use the online world to make their money. So these are people who work online, who work remotely. Now, that can involve a wide variety of remote work. Obviously, it could involve people who are developers, people who are freelancers, and people who have their own business, as long as that is a digital business. But it also excludes a few people who may be seen as nomads because they move around a lot, and we'll talk more about that when I talk about the word nomad, obviously, but they are not digital. So, for example, there's a lot of people who travel frequently by teaching English in foreign countries. And they're doing that at schools in those countries, so that's not digital. So they're not digital nomads. There's people who are, for example, dive instructors. They teach scuba diving and they travel all around the world to different places. They teach scuba diving there. But again, that is an activity that is not online, that's not on the internet. So those are also not digital nomads. So the word digital, it's a little bit more obvious. It involves some kind of online work, whether it is as a freelancer where you have a remote job, or as a business owner where you have a business that that operates online on the internet. And one element that comes with this digital lifestyle is location independence. And location independence caused by this digital lifestyle is the reason why these people are not just digital, but they're also nomads, because that location independence gives them the opportunity to move around, to not live permanently in one place. And that is the nomad aspect of being a digital nomad. That means that you don't live in one place, you're not bound to one place, you don't have one single home, or at least you change your home very frequently. Now, there is a wide variety of people who call themselves nomads, and some of them, they move around all the time. They never live anywhere permanently. Every other week they're somewhere else. And there are people who live in one place for years at a time and still consider themselves nomads or even digital nomads, simply because they have that location independence, they have that freedom. Maybe they take regular trips from their current home base, or they change around every couple of years and still consider themselves nomadic for that reason. So again, both the word digital and the word nomad have a wide variety of people that are part of that, and that means that there's a wide variety of people who consider themselves digital nomads. And that also means there's a lot of people who fall under this term but don't necessarily consider themselves digital nomads. Now, this term is fairly recent and fairly new, and there are a lot of people who have been living in foreign countries. Maybe they have some kind of online income, yet they were doing this long before the term digital nomad even existed. And so they generally don't consider themselves digital nomads. They might identify with the word expat or something similar to that. And there are also a lot of people who consider themselves digital nomads, but aren't necessarily viewed as such by others. For example, there are people who move to another country because they had location independence created by online income, but then they never moved anywhere else. So they moved to one place, and so they're also generally considered more expats or immigrants or in that country where they moved to, rather than digital nomads. So that covers a lot of the controversy around the word digital nomad, I guess, because there are people who say, oh, you're not a real digital nomad, you don't move a lot. For example, myself, when I first started the digital nomad lifestyle, I moved to Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I stayed in Chiang Mai for basically a year and a half. Now, I moved I didn't move. I traveled around to neighboring countries a few times. I went to Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, etc. But I always had a home base in Chiang Mai at the time. I had an apartment there, and so I was more of an expat in Chiang Mai rather than a nomad who moves around all the time. Now, the last couple of months, I've been moving around a lot. I've been to Europe in several countries. I came back to Thailand again, went to Bali for a while. So now I've been a more active nomad where I actually moved to a different place a lot. But again, now that we're back in Chiang Mai, Thailand, I'm going to stay here for a couple months at a time. And so I'm not going to be moving as often. But again, that doesn't mean I'm not a digital nomad. That just means that I'm in one place for a longer period of time rather than a short period of time. And yeah, so some people, they argue about this term, but I think it's just a very broad term, and anyone who works online and in some way moves or doesn't have a permanent home or moves around at a certain frequency, whatever that frequency is, could be considered a digital nomad.